Hi, everybody. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk with you about some steps I just announced to protect the middle class, create jobs, and give our recovery an added shot of momentum. As you probably know, the income tax cuts that were put in place last decade are scheduled to expire on January 1st, along with a series of tax cuts for the middle class that we made soon after I took office. This would, all told, mean a tax increase of $3,000 for the typical family, and could cost our economy well over 1 million jobs. At the same time, an impasse in Congress means unemployment insurance would expire for 2 million Americans who would lose their emergency assistance right in the middle of the holiday season. It would be a perfect storm that would set families, businesses, and our country back, just as we're recovering from a devastating recession and a decade of stagnant wages. To break the logjam, I initiated bipartisan discussions. And yesterday I announced a framework for a solution that would head off this calamity. It would bring Americans additional tax relief, keep unemployment insurance in place, and provide new incentives for businesses to grow and hire. Now, I know some folks, even good friends, are unhappy with the plan because, as with any negotiation, getting there required some give and take. In exchange for a temporary extension of the tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans, we're also able to protect key tax cuts for middle-class families. Republicans were forced to end their obstruction of an extension of unemployment insurance, and we secured a payroll tax cut for workers, a tax cut you'll see right in your paycheck worth about $1,000 for a typical family, as well as tax breaks for college students and small businesses. I have no doubt that everyone will be able to find something in this compromise that they don't like. There are things in here that, frankly, I don't like, namely the extension of the tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans at a time when we need to focus on bringing down the deficit. But this is not the end of this fight. These tax cuts will expire in 2 years, and I will continue to make the case to the American people about why I don't believe they should be renewed. In fact, I'm confident that as we make the tough choices to cut the deficit, it will become apparent that we can't afford to extend these tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans one day longer. Now, I've heard the argument that we should have fought on, that we should make Republicans pay a political price for holding tax cuts for the middle class hostage, even if it meant allowing unemployment insurance to end or taxes to go up on every American come January 1st. And even though it was unlikely we could have done as well by waiting for the new Congress to arrive. But like I said yesterday, I'm not going to make the American people collateral damage to political infighting in Washington. I'm not going to play games with the lives of the American people or jeopardize our economy in order to score political points. That's not why you sent me here. For too long, Washington has been a place where any compromise was seen as a failure, where victory was defined not by what you achieved for the country, but by who you defeated in partisan warfare. But I ran for president because I believed we couldn't afford that mentality any longer. We can't afford to fight the same battles over and over again. We can't afford another day, another year, another decade in which Washington is simply defined by rancor and division. And I've counted on your support because you understand the importance of changing our politics, of doing the hard work of finding common ground. It's not perfect, but this compromise is an essential step on the road to recovery. It will stop middle-class taxes from going up, just as I promised. It will spur our private sector to create millions of new jobs, and it will add momentum that our economy badly needs right now. That's how we define our success, by the positive difference we can make in the lives of our fellow Americans. And that's why this compromise is the right thing to do.